Good morning, everyone. It's May 28th, 2024, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll begin with a public hearing. This public hearing is to discuss reinvestment zones for two, a solar project and a battery storage project that applications have been applied for approving by the court. And so item 6 is to discuss the reinvestment zone to be known as Zapata County, English, Texas Solar 3 reinvestment zone number 1. I don't know if anybody signed up for the public comment section of the hearing. Basically, for the public, these are projects that are to be constructed in our county, and establishing the reinvestment zone is part of the process. The public hearing is the first step. This solar project is scheduled to be installed or constructed on 3169, about 3 miles east of San Ignacio. And I don't know if we can get into the specifics, Counselor, or...
Well, Judge, if there's specific individuals that have questions pertaining to some of these items, then the court can absolutely go through it, unless Your Honor would like to give them a brief overview.
Just a brief overview that basically it'll be constructed on acreage on the Amanda G. Guerra Santa Maria Ranch, and then the Lauro Andres Garza Ranch, and the Ana Luisa Garza Gray Ranch. And so a total of 1,363 acres, 0.74 will be involved in this project, and this would be in the San Ignacio area. So any public comments on the process moving forward with this project? If not, I'll move on to item number 7, and this is to establish a reinvestment zone to be known as the Zapata County Falcon Best Reinvestment Zone number 1. And this is a proposed battery storage project. The project is to be constructed about 10 miles south of 83 near Chihuahua, near the community of Chihuahua, on county, I think it's off the county road.
Yeah.
It's off the county road, yes. And the property is included in this project. Here in the package. It will be on.
It's not in my package.
It's not in your package? I did see it on my package. It's just for the public. Okay, it's here, it's 58.58 acre tract from the Belen Land Company, Ltd., and a 186.25 acre tract on the Mrs. Sandra Falcon property. And so the total acres involved in this project will be 244.83 acres, and this is in the Chihuahua area. So any public comment on the project moving forward? If not, I'll close the public hearing at this time. And we'll move on to our regular Commissioners' Court meeting. It's 9:15 a.m., May the 28th, 2024, and I'll call the regular Commissioners' Court meeting to session. First item on the agenda is roll call by our County Clerk, Mary Jane Villalba-Nolan. Mary Jane, good morning.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Good morning.
Judge Rathmel,
Present.
Commissioner Mendoza, Commissioner Morales,
Present.
Commissioner Solis,
Present.
Commissioner Garza.
Present.
We have a quorum, Judge.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Next item is our invocation by Pastor Roger Miller, Commissioners Court Chaplain.
Good morning.
Pastor Miller, good to see you.
Good morning. If you bow your heads with me this morning, let's pray. Our Father who provides, we come before you today remembering when we had little and you provided what we needed, when we were anxious and you brought peace, when we were alone and you became our friend. You are aware of the sparrow when it falls to the earth, and you truly know what we need this day. So today, Father, we have needs which only you can provide. We ask that you again provide for each member of this court for their individual needs today. We ask that our leaders be given the courage to listen to your guidance as it speaks quietly to them in the matters of the day. We ask that they would hear you through the seemingly intolerable noises which surround them. We ask for you to meet their needs for health and body, boldness in their decisions of the soul, and trust in you in their spirits. Prepare them to see this day the matters before them as an opportunity to experience your presence. And in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4, Commissioners' communications. Anything you'd like to share with the public at this time? We had a little rain last night. I think that's always a good sign. I think there were some power outages around town. I don't know if it was related to the rain event, but seems to be all the lights are back on. I haven't heard any other reports.
It was basically it was just a lightning.
Lightning?
The power lines.
I did receive some correspondence today from the Region M concerning the water levels of the system, the whole combined system, including Lake Amistad and of course Falcon Lake, and both reservoirs now, the current combined capacity is at less than 20%, 19.71. I think we've got some items on the agenda to address how we can, restrict our water usage in our community. Unless we get some heavy tropical moisture, I think we're gonna have a very difficult summer. I know, speaking with our water plant manager, we're already struggling a little bit to produce water from the river.
We have about another 3 feet, and then at that point, we're gonna be struggling, so.
We do have some dredging equipment coming on, so we can, install temporary pumps, but certainly it is a very concerning situation, as the ongoing drought just continues in our area, well, the whole system. But I just wanted to bring that up. I also wanted to mention that I want to thank all those who attended the Memorial Day ceremony yesterday at the cemetery. And certainly want to thank Sergeant Mireles and Virginia ROTC for placing flags on all our veterans that are resting at the cemetery. Our veteran service officer and those veterans that participated in the event. I appreciate their participation. Any other communications, Commissioner?
We also had the ROTC program. They assisted the Zapata County Cemetery with the cleanup, so I want to thank Sergeant Mireles and the ROTC group. Got a call from Hawks Landing. They would like to treat you guys to a free burger and a drink.
Yeah,
So it was a nice gesture from Mr. Armando Pacheco, but I want to thank Sergeant Mireles and the ROTC.
Yes, they did an outstanding
They did
job.
a tremendous job.
Yes. Very well, good. We'll get the word out to the kids and Sergeant Mireles. They've got a free hamburger.
I relayed the information to Sergeant Mireles, so he should be.
That's good, very good. Any other communications, Commissioners? We'll move on to public comment. This section provides the public the opportunity to address the Commissioners Court on any item on the agenda. Members of the public at this time. If not, we'll move on to item number 6, Commissioners. Approval of invoices, and in your packets, we had invoices from May the 10th, 2024 through May the 23rd, 2024, for a total of $372,414.18.
Motion to approve is presented.
Motion by Commissioner Solis to approve the invoices as presented, second by Commissioner Morales. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 7, approval of checks issued. And in the packet, we had checks from 5/10/2024 through 5/23/2024 for a total of exactly the same amount, $372,414.18.
Motion to approve is presented.
Motion to approve as presented by Commissioner
Second.
Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll move on, Commissioners, to reports and presentation, and I'd like to skip to item number 9, is to offer congratulations to Zapata High School 1-act play for their UIL 4A state championship.
Good morning, everyone. So as you all know, on May 16th, the Zapata High School 1-act play represented our county at the UIL 1-act state meet. We would like to congratulate the directors, the cast, the crew of this group, and collectively express how proud we are of you. So congratulations. Ms. Cristina Garcia to introduce the students so that we can present you with a token of appreciation, plaque of certificate of recognition, which proudly presented to the director, cast, and crew of the Zapata High School One Act Play for their state-winning performance of Blood Wedding on May 16, 2024. Presented this day, 28th day of May, 2024.
Hi.
Good morning.
My name is Ms. Cristina Garcia, and I am only one of 4 directors that have helped make this happen. I would also like to recognize Ms. Nelly Garcia, Ms. Belinda Vela, and Ms. Andrea Gonzalez. On behalf of the department, I would also very much once again and always like to say thank you so much to the community, to our parents, and to our administration. We can't do this without your support, so we thank you. But that being said, this is Zapata's second state championship, but this time around, I'd like to introduce you to the kids that helped make it happen this time. Starting with my freshmen, we have Miss Kylie Ray, Miss Olga Figueroa. For our sophomores, we have Mr. Giovanni Nino, Mr. Jose Luis Orta Jr., Mr. Samuel Rizendes, Mr. Manuel Gonzalez III, Ms. Fideli Peña, Ms. Xiomara Martinez, Ms. Maylin Salinas, Ms. Delilah Martinez. For our juniors, we have Ms. Kelsey Cooper, Ms. Alessandra Hernandez, Ms. Allison Jackson, and Ms. Sahara Garcia. And last but certainly not least are our seniors, Mr. Alexander Gray and Ms. Vidali Garcia. That's all of us.
Guys, face to the commissioner so that they can see your faces.
We would like to congratulate you guys for an awesome and tremendous job you guys did, and thank you for putting Zapata and Zapata Independent School District on the map. Congratulations. Thank you.
Can we condense a little bit, guys, for a picture?
Stand back here. Stand here in the back. Commissioner.
On the side?
We carry the amount 20.
Right.
The allowed amount 20.
Guys, we might have to move up a little bit this way.
Sideways.
Sideways?
Sideways.
There you go. But move up a little bit further up. There. Up. Giovanni, there you go.
Louis,
Louis, you need to squish between the 2 boys. There you go.
it's okay. Together, together.
Together, we squish.
Mr.
Do we
Morales,
fit?
please. Thank you, sir. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Another one. 1, 2, 3.
Again, congratulations.
Yeah, if I could briefly just say a few words. Sure.
Are you gonna talk to us?
Yeah, yes, you guys before you
Guys,
head
stop
out.
real quick. Stop. Just real quick. Yeah, go sit.
Judge and Commissioners, I had the privilege of seeing this troop go through the entire process, starting with district by district, and as the level, the area, regional, and of course state, and as the levels of competition increased, got better, their attentiveness, their attention to detail, their effort increased exponentially with each rising of the competition. And you know what makes me most proud is the grace and dignity that they showed and the aplomb that they showed in every one of these competitions, representing Zapata County, our small community, in the best possible light. I'm so honored that you guys accomplished what you guys have accomplished. Becoming a champion is very difficult. Opportunity needs to meet talent, and those need to come together at the right time. But that alone is not sufficient. You have to seize the moment once you have that opportunity, and you did that. So you guys have accomplished something that is so hard for anyone to ever accomplish. The fact that you did it, the fact that you're one of us, makes us all very proud. If you are the future of our community, I think our community is in great hands. So great job.
Thank you, Figueroa. Very well said. Thank you.
They're deserving of it, Judge. They
Yes.
are. They really are.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Back to school. The last 3-4 days. 2 days.
Thank you, Commissioner and Judge, for honoring them. They're very well deserved of,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
of this honor. It would be awesome if it was.
Morning, Chief.
Morning.
Chief, morning. Mr. Juan Saenz, good morning.
Judge, just some housekeeping note, Judge. I know we have a presentation coming up, but I have a hearing at 10, between 10 and 10:30 for CPS that I have, and I know we have a executive session item, Judge. So I don't know if you want to handle that before, just to make sure that I'm here when we do the
That'd be
executive
fine.
session.
We'll jump forward.
Okay, whenever your honors
Okay.
ready for that.
We'll, staying on reports and presentations, item number 8, a presentation by Endo Planet, is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Well, yes, so I've got Mr. Brian Hooton and Jack Nemeth.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll step up to the podium and tell us all about your projects.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning, Commissioner
Hi.
Garza.
Morning.
Excited to be here.
Yes. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, we'll get plugged in here and get started. I believe you guys all have the presentation up there already?
Yeah, we should.
Yes, and
No están conectados eso.
Were you able to?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's gonna take.
you know, we do have, I mean, we can
Okay,
follow.
that-
Yeah.
I want to start off by saying I appreciate y'all having us, and thank you, Commissioner Garza, for the invitation.
Yes, sir.
We're the Ingo Planet. We're a Houston-based solar infrastructure company that specializes in delivering completely off-grid, decentralized solar solutions, from bus shelters to solar-powered lights and poles that can power lights, cameras, Wi-Fi, surveillance technology, such as gunshot detection. And so we're here today. I had spoke with Commissioner Garza several weeks ago about the lighting needs here in Zapata County, and some funding opportunities that we'd like to present to y'all today in terms of grants. And so I'll start on that first page of your presentation. We've got a brief overview of who we are, and I think I just covered that. On the third page, you've got the quick visual of our lights. And so I'm sure when I said solar lights or solar powered poles, this is not visually what y'all had in mind. Maybe the one on the far right is. You've got your big panel up there, and you've got your pole, but then we've got 3 others. So I'm going to run through quickly what those are just before I get into each light. I wanted to point out that these are, as I mentioned, completely off-grid. So they operate entirely on their own. There's no grid connection whatsoever. It is purely the pole, the panel, the battery, and then a solar charge controller and the load. So you've got the panel that absorbs energy, it takes it down to the battery, it communicates with that solar charge controller in there, and then it emits that to the load, which could be your light, your camera, your Wi-Fi, whatever is consuming energy. And so these operate entirely on their own. And with that, there's very little that goes into the installation. So you're not talking about trenching or a construction-heavy project. These are very quick and easy to install.
What's the battery life on it?
So the battery life, and I'm glad you brought that up, we pack in what's called battery autonomy. So we pack in 52 amp hour batteries, and we can put multiple of these. One thing you'll notice just looking at them is you don't see a big battery box on there, and that's because we put the batteries in the base of the pole. With the Ingo Lumo, which is on that, it's the one with the big panel on it, that can have batteries up in the top in that metal housing. And so we can pack in multiple batteries to make sure these never go out. I know y'all were talking about power outages earlier, and this is power outages and inclement weather is what started our company. In Houston a couple weeks ago, we had a really devastating storm. Several trees were knocked down. A tree hit my dad's house and caused a ton of damage. We have street lights that are still out. We've got neighborhoods that are still being impacted by this almost 2 weeks later. And so that is the problem that we're here to solve, is when you have these on your streets, they work 100% of the time, whether it's a light or a camera or Wi-Fi, and the best way to think of Wi-Fi is more of a Wi-Fi hotspot. And so these do not go out. And from a safety and security standpoint, it makes a huge impact when you have these cameras running 24/7 and you have these lights that are on. And so with our lights, and before I get into each of the models, and I'll go through that quickly because I know we're going to be considerate of time. Each of our lights can be equipped, each of our poles can be equipped with a motion sensor, which from a security standpoint can make a big impact, and also from an energy efficiency standpoint. So we got the motion sensor bit installed up in the top, and we have what's called a dimming schedule. So in order to ensure the most energy efficiency and make sure these work 24/7, 365 days a year, our lights, we have peak operation times. So from sundown to, let's call it midnight or 1 a.m., these things are operating in full blast. And then when there's less traffic, when there's less movement out there, these things will drop to a lower power output. So you've still got illumination, you've still got visibility, and then that motion sensor in there from a security perspective, when you've got motion, whether it's a person, an animal, or a car, these lights will shoot up to 100% for 5 to 15 minutes, and you've got that security presence. So it definitely makes a big impact on security. We're going to unpack that a little bit further in these slides, but just to quickly run y'all through each of our products, we've got the Ingo Lumo on that first slide after the product array, and that is our most powerful and efficient pole. You've got the big panel on top. It can be oriented directly towards the sun, which creates maximum absorption, excellent energy efficiency, and as I mentioned on that one, the batteries can go in the base of the pole, which is great for maintenance. And these don't require much maintenance at all, but when you do have maintenance, it's really convenient to be able to go in there, access the batteries from the base of the pole, and do whatever you need to do down there instead of getting a skylift out there to work on top of the light. That being said, with the Ingo Lumo, we can also put the batteries in the top there for security purposes or anything along those lines.
Have you guys had any issues with like vandalism?
We personally have not. With having the batteries in the base of our pole, we do take measures to prevent vandalism and access. And with that casing in the bottom, it's very discreet. It's not very obvious. But we also do have locking mechanisms and things in place to secure these poles even further. And with the Ingo Lumo, being that it's our most efficient, most powerful, and our most affordable option, it does make a difference to have that option to put the batteries up top. So now jumping over to our next slide, the Ingo Tower. Probably not what you thought of when I said this one and the next two are probably not what you visualized when I said solar powered light or solar pole. It's one that we like to call our discrete solar option, or our concealed solar. You've got the panels built directly into that pole. And so this is a great pole to plug in for existing street lights next to on-grid, when you have a need for lights in an area where you've got existing lighting and you want something to look just like it. This is a great solution. I like to say you have to be about 4 feet away to realize it's solar, and sometimes you still don't. So with those panels built directly into the pole, there are some limitations in terms of battery. Talking about the Ingo Lumo, that can power lights and cameras and Wi-Fi and a motion sensor. With the Ingo Tower, you're going to be looking at one of those, either a light, a camera, or Wi-Fi and a motion sensor. And with Wi-Fi, you probably don't need a motion sensor. So that's the Ingo Tower. One of the really neat things, and one of my favorite things about the tower, is up top where you can see the light arm, and there's that little gray cap. That can actually be outfitted with a historic lantern option and different aesthetic options up there. So if you had a historic downtown or somewhere you wanted to put these lights and really make it blend in or create a certain aesthetic for a beautification project or something along those lines, it's a really great fit for that. Moving on to our Ingo Leaf. This is our flagship product, my personal favorite. It's very eccentric. It's got that big leaf panel on top, and in terms of output and efficiency, it's right up there with the Ingo Lumo. You've got a lot of surface area to absorb energy and have maximum efficiency. And as you can see on there, it's won several international design awards, and it's what we used in 2022 for the Qatar World Cup in Doha, Qatar. So that one, it's really great. There's a lot of options. You can put a light and a camera and Wi-Fi. There's a lot of capability, a lot of functionality there. Moving on to the Ingo Slim. Y'all might have seen some of these. We've got some in the area over in Brownsville at SpaceX Starbase. And then also in Calhoun County, which Brian here is going to talk about in just a little bit. The Ingo Slim is another of our concealed solar options. It's got the panels built directly into the pole. And so again, it's very discreet, and with that, there do come some limitations in terms of power output. But just as with anything, there are going to be some limitations. So this could power a light or a camera in Calhoun County. We actually use these on a pretty large scale. It's the largest solar lighting installation today in the U.S. to power lights and cameras, and it had an immediate impact on safety and security, and really made a difference and gave resources to the sheriffs and the police in that area from day one. And these lights on install, the minute they're put up, they start working. That same night, that same day, they're going to charge, and that night they're going to be working. So in terms of reliability and sustainability, this is a phenomenal solution.
As far as like the security cameras, does everything get backed up like on a cloud, or how does that?
So if y'all had something specific in mind, we can tailor it to whatever you were looking for. So with Calhoun County, for example, and I'll let Brian jump in just a second. With Calhoun County, they specified a big 50-pound light that was very advanced and very technical, and we were able to do it for them. Brian can speak a little bit more on that. So I'll go ahead and just let you jump in.
Yeah, so in that case, and in most of the cases that when we're doing cameras for municipality, county, things like that, there's generally, maybe just the local sheriff's department has a system that they currently use. And so what we like to do is consult with them. What cameras do we need to integrate into y'all's system? And then we'll bring in an integration company. A lot of times you guys may already have a contract with the company here locally. If you do, great. We'll just consult with them. What cameras do we need to put up? We'll approach it from a power draw standpoint. Yes, this light can support, this pole can support that camera, and we sort of back into it that way. So we do have cameras that we can just come to the table with, but generally we like to work with you guys and plug into y'all's system. Another thing that we provide outside of, and we don't have a slide there, we'll email it to you guys though. Jack mentioned the bus shelters earlier. That's something that we're working with Houston Metro right now. We have 30 solar powered bus shelters going in Brownsville right now. Actually, we're on the way there later this week to meet with them for the next phase. We're going to do another 45 down there. So these are fully off-grid. Obviously, the solar power the lights, but we also do USB chargers. We can do Wi-Fi hotspots. We can do a digital screen. We can do quite a bit, all solar powered. Interestingly enough, Houston Metro wanted solar powered fans on for hot days. So we've got a push button operated fan to blow air. You know, it's probably blowing 105-degree air at everybody, but hey, it's still some.
I believe I saw some of those in Laredo. I think the Metro buses stations have some of those.
Great.
That are solar powered.
Good deal. Yeah, Laredo wasn't ours, unfortunately, but Brownsville is. So, we'll send you some information. We just got the last ones installed there. There'll be some press releases that we'll send up here to you guys.
Okay.
Wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the Calhoun County project. The way that got started was they just had a need for, I think it was 11 lights in a park, Little Chocolate Bayou Park. And we entered there. That started the relationship with their county judge and county commissioner. We planted those 11 lights. They worked great. The public loved them. Really got a lot of buzz. So they brought us back. Hey, how can we expand this? They had a little bit of money set aside due to a Go Mesa fund. It's an offshore drilling tax surplus that the counties there get. We have a creative program called the Ingo Utility Program. And what that allows a county or city to do is sign a contract with us, a multi-year contract, 10, 15 years, whatever works out best. And no upfront cost whatsoever. We'll produce and install these lights. It comes with a maintenance plan, warranty for the life of the contract built in. Again, no upfront costs. You just pay monthly. Same way you would do for a normal utility contract on grid. But we actually become your utility company there. So anything goes wrong with these lights, we already know about it before you do. The cavalry's coming, we take care of it. So it's just a monthly bill or quarterly or yearly, whatever works out for your county. But so we're combining those two, we were able to come up with this project for them. We ended up 300 solar powered lights and another 20 solar powered cameras. These all went into public use spaces, parks, boat ramps, beach areas, things like that. They were just able to place these all around the county between Port O'Connor and Fort Lavaca. So with that, I'll turn it back to Jack.
So there's not a minimum or a maximum bundle of lights that we have to order or I mean, so we're a small county we don't have deep pockets.
Our budgets are limited.
So there may be some limited applications where the commissioners might say they have a park or a specific project. Is there a minimum of?
For an Ingo utility contract, in most cases, we're looking at, we want 80 to 100 lights to make it worth our while. And now that said, if you guys really put your heads together, you could find a place for 80 lights pretty easily.
So that would be the minimum, yes.
That said though, we also.
Yeah, I have it right there.
We have a plan for, or some grant opportunities that we want to lay out for you guys that we'd be more than happy to head up and chase for you guys and really do the legwork for you. So Jack's our expert on that, so I'll turn it back over to Jack.
And so just really quick on grants, or I'll make one point about Calhoun County. So we've got those 3 slides, and Brian gave you all a good overview of what went into Calhoun County, how that started, and what that looked like. And there's a slide in there that gives you all a quick visual of what those poles look like there, the illumination of those parks and public spaces. And then there's the project impact slide. And I worked for half a decade in politics before I got into solar infrastructure. Worked for a U.S. congressman in Texas, in Houston, and he's been down here on the border a lot. And he's got a very big social media presence, with about 6 million followers collectively across platforms. And so when we're talking about impact and community impact and reach to constituents, I know how important it is to not only do the work, and I've talked to Commissioner Garza and know that y'all are doing a lot, and y'all have had issues with the utility company that does y'all's lights here. And y'all are doing work behind the scenes that a lot of times people can't see. And so the really neat thing about this, and through the lens of Calhoun County, we work hand in hand with the county commissioners of Calhoun County and with the county judge in Calhoun County. And with the innovation that we bring and the cutting edge nature of solar lighting and the possibilities that it can bring and the immediate impact it has on safety and security, especially in your more remote areas where it's either too costly or doesn't make sense to trench in lights, or maybe it's even impossible, which is definitely something that we encounter. Having this technology that we can bring in there, these lights and cameras, that can make such an impact on safety and security immediately, does generate press, does generate attention, and that's something that raises the visibility and shows y'all's constituents that you're doing everything y'all can to bring them solutions. And so that's just one little tidbit I wanted to throw in there, just having worked in politics for so long and seeing what goes into it, especially from a community impact standpoint. So jumping over to grants, which I know is, for us, it's definitely a complex landscape. There's a lot of nuance in it. Grants are not, at least for me, when I first started diving into grants, they're not very simple.
No.
And so we partnered up with one of the country's leading grant management and grant writing firms with a 92% win rate to help us help our clients and our partners navigate that landscape and find opportunities, because one of the biggest problems in the grant landscape is finding opportunities too late. They go through these announcements, they announce this grant, and it's got, let's say, an 8-month window before the application deadline, and it takes several months for people to find out about it, and then the application process is tedious, it's difficult. I've tried helping out some of our clients with the grant process, application process, some of the nonprofits in Houston for some security grants through FEMA, and it's difficult. I sometimes I didn't know what I was doing, and they certainly hit their head against the wall several times. And so we partnered up with this firm to equip us and our clients with resources, whether it's review and application assistance, to also just making them aware of the opportunities before the deadlines pass and with enough time to really address them and get behind them. And so in the presentation, I have 4 different grant opportunities that our grant firm found specifically for Zapata County to be applicable through the lens of lighting and infrastructure improvements. So the first one, that straight, safe streets and roads for all, the SS4A, that's the most robust grant opportunity that's in front of us today. That award amount is between $100 and $25 million, pretty big range there. But as you can see under there are 3 tiers of different grants under that SS4A. There's the planning grant, the demonstration grant, the implementation grant. And so on that, the planning and demonstration side, that's where you're looking more at the $100,000 in, and on the implementation, you're getting a little bit closer to that. Realistically, for Zapata County, conferring with our grant writing firm, they estimate between $600,000 and $2 million would be a reasonable objective, which could give the county hundreds of lights. And so that is through the Department of Transportation, and could be a huge opportunity. And so jumping over to the transportation alternative set aside, that one is geared specifically towards energy efficient lighting and infrastructure improvements in high use public space areas, if I have that correctly, to enhance transportation networks. And so that one would be $250,000 for communities of 200,000 or less. There is an 80-20 matching component to that. But my understanding is that Zapata would be eligible for the 100%, which would require no matching whatsoever. And these 2 deadlines, we're looking at a little bit of a runway there with those deadlines. But the next one I'm going to talk about, the 4th one I'm going to talk about, is an opportunity that's coming up pretty quickly. So the 3rd one is the Texas Boating Access Grants. I know with the big Falcon Lake, you'll have a lot of boat ramps in the area, and I imagine quite a few of those are public use. And that
We
is
got some improvements coming to our boat ramp. Mr. Gonzalez, do you know how much we have budgeted for lighting? I know we added lighting to
Total
some application.
for your project, Commissioner, is for a new boat ramp. We have about 700 to 750,000.
Right, but what about for lighting? I know we added lighting.
For lighting is specific, I don't have the exact number for that, but I can go back and check what was it for lighting. But I know that the ramp itself, we had a fish cleaning station, we had 2 new docking stations, and then we had a new set of restroom facilities next to the parking area, and some sidewalks for accessibility.
So we will be adding some lighting, to the improvements, but I do see that, your minimum here is 10. Would it be possible to do like 5, just in case we gotta go?
Absolutely,
or-
100%. That was just a proposal, kind of a
Okay.
pilot that we just wanted you to see.
So
kind
there's
of
no
what a budget
minimum,
of-
we can do 3, 4, you know?
Sure, now maybe not on the utility contract, but on a direct purchase, you could buy
Right,
one
it'll
if
be
you wanted
direct
to,
purchase,
absolutely,
okay.
sure.
Okay.
So with these grants,
Yeah, so we do have, I think there's some specific applications for, these lights are interesting, I think we've got a golf course,
Now
golf
you
course
speak my
project.
language, okay.
Yes, so, yeah, there may be some areas where we can.
Night
I mean,
golf.
I think, and maybe the auditor might know how many streetlights we pay for on a monthly basis. I think that at least 1,000.
Yeah, at least.
So throughout our community, and of course, they're not cheap.
Sure.
And every year, we do budget streetlights for every precinct, every commissioner, but this may be an option to say, you know, instead of adding more, we might just go solar on some areas that may be troublesome. There's some lights that we have to pay an additional cost to be able to.
Put a light pole or.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
that they
a
might be-
transformer.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
So there might be some areas where the commissioners can, and maybe in our budget, as we work through our budget, we substitute these for the street lights that we
So we will
afford.
continue adding more to our.
Yeah, because all we're doing is adding more and more to the light bill.
So if there's, you know, I don't know if we can replace every street light that we have. I mean, that might be something in the future where.
Sure.
We do have, I would say at any given time, a couple hundred that are out throughout our community.
Yes, sir.
And it takes time and a lot of persistence to get them fixed sometimes from our utility company. So when these lights go out, is there a sensor that allows us to, or do we have to physically, because that's what we have to do right now, basically. I
Drive
drive
around
at
in
night
night.
with my wife and go check poles that are out and.
Right.
Take a picture of them and report them.
Report the poll number and.
We have the ability to remotely manage these. There's a extra sensor that we can put in there that actually, if it's cellular driven, it comes with 3 years of cellular service just right out of the box. We can set it up to where you guys and we would get an alert if anything happens, and then if we get that alert, the cavalry's coming. Generally, what we would do is find a local Zapata County, electrical contractor or something like that we can dispatch next day to go fix these things. They don't break down very often. They're a very simple system. So generally, just with that data, we can say, hey, this is out. Go fix this connection real fast, or whatever it is. So, and we would load them up with replacement parts and things like that, so they can respond and take care of it.
Very interesting, so, well.
And the great thing, solar power, we've got the Inflation Reduction Act. There's billions of dollars out there that they can fund this. We've got the ITC, the tax credits of the 30%. So anything you guys buy, we can get you the 30%
There's a lot of
check back.
interest in
So,
our
yes,
county
sir.
for solar project, as you heard this
Yes,
morning.
sir. Yeah,
We've
we're glad to
got,
hear about that.
6 solar projects that are maybe under construction within a year or so. So there's, we definitely have the sun down there.
Well, we've heard from Commissioner Garza that you guys are waiting for some on-grid lights, and you've been waiting for a good while.
Yeah, basically it's the new services that we get per year.
Yes, sir.
You know, we pass them through court, and then it goes to AEP, and then from there it goes to the upper, and then the constituents are like, hey, I asked for this light about a year ago, and it's like it's out of our hands. We've already passed it through courts, and now
I
it's
believe
just
that
up to
everything's on
AEP.
back order, I believe the parts. And
Gotcha.
the transformers.
Well, we have these lights on the shelf. I mean, we can have them up by the end of June, so we can move pretty fast with these things.
Any other question?
Yes, what's the life cycle on the battery packs?
So 5 to 7 years is what we can guarantee. Just like your car battery, basically. After a little while, it goes out. These are lithium-ion batteries, very easy to replace. It's open up the access door, pull the old battery out. We'll take that battery and recycle it for you, and then put in another one, make the connection. It's about as easy as switching out the batteries in your remote control.
And they're easy to replace, but what's the price? range that we're looking at per battery?
So as of now, per battery, you're looking at about $250 per battery. What I will say is that every year, the price of these, or the cost of these batteries have dropped a good 20% or so. In 5 to 7 years, I think we're gonna be pretty mean with the replacement cost there. I mean, I would expect $150, something like that.
Very well. Thank you for joining us this morning, and I think the commissioner will keep in touch and see how we can move forward with
I'll
some
get
of
with
these
you after
projects.
the commissioners court, about that project at the boat ramp.
Sure, want to let y'all know too, we're here, so if there's a place a site y'all want to show us, we're absolutely here, we can tag along.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all, appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, Counselor, so you want us to recommend?
Well, Judge, if you need me for that executive session item, Judge, I would suggest, because I have a CPS hearing at 10 o'clock.
Do we need the counselor?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Is it a personnel matter? or-
No, it's maybe an insurance claim matter.
Oh, okay. Well, you'd probably need me there, Judge, because if it's not real property or personnel matters or a security issue, then
It's
the only way we
consultation
would
with
get,
attorney.
yeah, it would have to be.
Okay,
be
so,
consultation.
all right, so I'll need a motion, I'll entertain a motion to enter the executive
I'll make a
session.
motion to enter executive session.
Motion by
I'll
Commissioner
second that
Solis,
motion.
seconded by Commissioner Garza to enter into executive session. The item to be heard is item number 19, to discuss an issue related to a Zapata County wastewater lift station. And executive session will be pursuant to Government Code 551.071, consultation with attorney. We are now in executive session, so.
So we have to clear the courtroom.
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready, Mary Jane?
Yes, we're ready. We're ready.
Motion to return to regular session, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner
Seconded.
Solis to return to regular session, seconded by Commissioner Garza. For the record, no action was taken in executive session. We'll, Commissioner, we'll move on to our action items. We'll deliberate and consider action on item number 10 is to consider a lease agreement extension with Charter Communications for property at 406 East First Street, here in Zapata, for a period of 3 years. Commissioners, I think that is on First Street, where Romeo Flores Park is. I think that there's a tower there that's been there for many, many years. We did extend it, I think 2 years ago, for an additional 2 years, and we increased the rental on it from $1,300 a month to $2,000, and they had accepted that. They've been paying on that. So they want, I think the long term, they would like to move that tower elsewhere, and they're needing additional time to look for another appropriate location.
Has Mr. Figueroa gone through the?
I don't believe he had at the time of the meeting, so it's exactly the same contract. I just thought, are y'all comfortable with 3 years at $2,000? Do you want to try to increase the rate? Everything seems to be going a little higher, so.
We went from 1,300 to 2,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can, so it ends on October 1st, 2024, the current contract, and they are paying a $2,000 monthly rent.
And this is the communication tower, correct?
I would recommend we go to, if they want a 3-year period, because they actually did it only for 1 year extension, that we requested $2,500 monthly rent for the 3 years.
Okay.
And see if they're, accept that. So I'll move that we allow a 3-year extension on the lease, but with a $2,500 monthly
That
rent.
motion too.
Yeah.
Motion second by Commissioner Garza, and we'll reach out to them, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, and we'll extend it for 3 years. Item number 11 is to consider application for match portion of USDA Fire Station Sheriff's Office improvement grants. Well, it'd be the fire station and the sheriff's office improvement grants with USDA loan program. Commissioner, I put this item on the agenda. We received those earmarks a few years ago for the sheriff's office improvement, and we are moving along, and then for the building of practically a new fire station. We did obligate the county to, on the match portion, on the sheriff's office is about $600-some thousand, that was a county match. And on the fire station, it was $1 million match. It was $1 million earmark, but an additional $1 million county. Our fund balance is running low. I did reach out to USDA, and they do have a loan program that the county could apply for with the application. Of course, the earmark is there, so we're not applying, but it could be included on the loan portion, or we could go out for certificates of obligation on them. I think, I think this is a good route to go with these two grants.
It would be like a 30-year loan or something?
It can be from 15 to 30, but that would allow us not to hit our fund balance and make these projects, I think, which we need, a reality, so.
I'll make a motion, Judge, to go out for applications for the match portion of USDA.
Motion by Commissioner Solis.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Garza, and I will reach out to our grant administrator, Mr. Paul Escher, to include in the applications a loan portion in our grant applications. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 12 is to change the regular Commissioners Court meeting scheduled for Monday, 6/24/24 to Friday, 6/21/2024 due to the South Texas County Judges and Commissioners Association Annual Conference in South Valley Island.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That makes sense, Commissioner, then we won't be rushing there. Item number 13 is to approve line item transfers of $20,000 from 200-580-431-35 placements to 200-580-426-10 operating expenses. And this is for, I see Mr. Rodriguez, good morning,
Yes, it was a
from
typo.
our juvenile probation office.
It was a typo.
Yes,
Yes, we're moving money from our detention to operating expenses to expend that grant fund. And it's for a camera system that we're gonna implement.
I think that's a good investment. I think, so, it's good that we have extra money for placements. That means our young kids are behaving somewhat.
It's somewhat. We're working on it.
We're working.
Motion to approve the line item transfer?
Motion by Commissioner Solis to approve the line item transfer, seconded by Commissioner Garza.
Appreciate it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Thank you. Item number 14 is to hire Noé Gonzalez at the Environmental Department on slot number 8 at $10.66 an hour. Mr. Stein.
I'll second that
Motion is approved by Commissioner Morales, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That was a vacant slot, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Item number 15 is to approve payment for invoice from Frank's Construction for masonry work, removal of frame, grouting of new frame, and painting of doors for the amount of $7,080 at the Sheriff's Regional Jail. Is that the Regional Jail, Mr. Rodriguez?
It's on both. Good morning, Judge.
Morning.
Commissioners.
Morning.
The contract was signed back in October 23,
Okay.
and all that was excluded. We bought the doors, we bought everything, they did all the frames, but regarding the exclusions were all the masonry work, removal of frames, the grouting and all that stuff.
So they've
That
already
was-
installed them, or are they?
Yeah, they're installed.
Everything's ready,
Yeah,
okay, the
everything's
work
ready.
has been
Yes,
completed.
it's been completed.
Okay.
And will this be coming out of,
No, but this, when the contract was approved back in October, I mentioned all that stuff regarding.
okay,
this.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mentioned that, because we actually bought the doors, they came down, but the exclusion part was that the masonry guy had to remove the frames, cut all the anchors and all that stuff, and
So
all that stuff
I guess
was
you
done.
want it from non-department,
Yes.
Yes.
That's what-
Do we have,
Yes.
any funds in?
No.
no, we're over like.
Negative what?
We're over negative like 100 grand.
Okay.
I did talk to the room in regards to Mr. Gonzalez in regards to that, but I did mention back in
Sí, sí,
October
sí,
when
sí.
it got
All right.
approved.
So that's where our limited fund balance comes into play, but
It's mostly on that one.
we can't exhaust it, or else we won't be able to pay for
I
it.
understand it.
Yes, okay, all right.
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of $7,080.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza to approve the payments of $7,080 to Frank Construction. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Commissioner, I want to skip to item number 21, which are resolutions and proclamations. And this is a resolution of Zapata County Water Works requesting stage 3 and mandatory water use restrictions and to approve the violation fees. As you know, we all mentioned the lake, I guess both systems are at less than 20%, Lake Amistad and Falcon. Falcon Lake, I think we're down to 7% capacity.
I saw just under 9%.
Oh, under 9, okay. So we're certainly at critical levels. We continue, so we basically, as we mentioned, we have a river flowing through our pumping station, which would normally be under 50 foot of water. And we're down to 3 feet to pump muddy water, basically, to treat. And so it's important that our community pitch in and help us conserve water, and hopefully we can improve our situation with some good rainfall. But you want to read the proclamation?
I can.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Mandatory water use restrictions. Whereas the current water levels in our community are dangerously low levels, and whereas conservation of water is essential for the sustainability of our environment, and whereas mandatory water restrictions are necessary to ensure that all residents have access to an adequate water supply, whereas the National Weather Service has forecasted an above-average temperature outlook for the South Texas area this summer of 2024, and now there be resolved that the Zapata County Commissioners Court acknowledges the implementation of Stage 3 mandatory water use restrictions, which have been published in our local newspaper posted on the Zapata County website and available in print at the Zapata County Waterworks office. Violation of these water use restrictions may result in fines or other penalties. It is the responsibility of all residents to conserve water and protect our precious natural resources. This resolution shall take effect immediately and remain in effect until further notice.
So, Mr. Trevino, so what does this entail for the public as far as, their water usage?
The water use, just basic restrictions, based on, where they live, their address, the last number on their residence, will be, a specific day that they can water. So, you know.
From a certain time.
Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and the times are limited to between 8 PM and 8 AM. I know it's late in the day, but it's because during midday, any water that is put on the ground is gonna evaporate immediately. So it's considered, you know, waste.
Will there be a campaign to inform the public about, I mean, many folks are gonna say, well, I didn't hear the commissioner's court.
I'm gonna share with Judge and with commissioners to see if y'all could post on your Facebook, social media. Again, we're gonna run another ad in the newspaper, and we have it, of course, in the county website. And any residents that comes in to make a payment, they're gonna get a notification of the restrictions that we have.
Anybody that comes into your office, but
Yes,
on
sir.
the actual bill, there won't be any type of notice.
On the bill, it says they're just stage 3 mandatory restrictions, but it's just slightly
Okay,
noted.
but so they can inquire at your office?
Yes, sir.
Now, will this include Siesta Shores as well?
No, this is just for Zapata and for San Ignacio.
Very well. So is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Morales. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion, resolution passes. All right, thank you. Moving back to item number 16, which is the, yes, I think we've signed one
I have it
already.
here.
I gave it
I have
to
it.
you.
Is this just a copy then?
Yes,
Yeah, we have several copies. So you guys have anything?
I have it. I have the signed one right here.
I'm not sure about that.
Solar powered windmills
It
or
was worth a
something?
try, it was worth a shot, huh?
Solar powered windmills?
Item number 16 is to request the setting of a violation fee of $100 per offense for violations to the Zapata County Waterworks Conservation and Drought Contingency Plan restrictions as per section 4G of the Zapata County Water Systems Ordinance. So, Commissioners, it's just the enforcement mechanism. We are hopeful that we don't have to certainly hurt any residents on an additional fee, but hopefully everyone will comply.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Morales. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trevino.
Yes, sir.
And 3 feet of water, huh?
3 feet, yes, sir.
Okay. Item number 17, to discuss and consider approval or take appropriate action on an order concerning the adoption and designation of Zapata County Falcon Best Reinvestment Zone Number 1 pursuant to the county's guideline and criteria under Property Redevelopment and Tax Abatement Act, Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code. And so this is the action item as a result of the public hearing this morning, Commissioners. And so we are now taking action to allow the reinvestment zone for Falcon Best is the battery storage unit in the Chihuahua area on private property.
Motion to approve, sir.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Morales. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 18 is to discuss and consider approval or take appropriate action on an order concerning the adoption and designation of the Zapata County Ignis, Texas Solar 3 Reinvestment Zone Number 1 pursuant to the county's guidelines and criteria under the Property Redevelopment and Tax Abatement Act, Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code. Same for this project, will be a solar project in the San Ignacio area, Farm to Market Road, area 169. Motion by Commissioner Solis.
Seconded.
Seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 19 is to discuss an issue related to a Zapata County wastewater lift station.
No action?
No action on item number 19.
Motion to approve, number 20, line item transfer.
Motion by Commissioner Solis to approve the consent items,
I'll
seconded by
second it.
Commissioner Morales, and from the Veterans Financial Assistance, indirect cost, $2,744.87 to client services, $2,744.87. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. That's it, Commissioners. Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Solis, second by Commissioner Morales. We are now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.